NASA doesn't need to go to space. The answers are in Yellowstone. We all know that space missions come with a hefty price tag. To break it down, a ticket to space for an astronaut starts at around $20 million and can skyrocket up to $50 million. NASA might have deep pockets, but they are always on the hunt for ways to cut costs and save millions wherever possible. Plus, NASA has long understood that they don't need to travel all the way to Saturn's moon to study potential extraterrestrial life. Why? Because the perfect testing ground already exists right here on Earth, in Wyoming. If that surprises you, then you'll love learning why NASA is so fascinated with Yellowstone. To explore life beyond Earth, we first need to understand environments that mimic extraterrestrial conditions. That's where Yellowstone's stunning hot springs and geysers come into play. Now, don't worry, we're not talking about the entire park. Let's leave the bears, moose, and other earthly creatures to the local biologists. The real gold mine for NASA is Yellowstone's geysers, where microbial life thrives in extreme conditions. Oh, and fun fact, Yellowstone has more geysers and hot springs than the rest of the world combined. Some of these pools can reach a scorching 192 degrees Fahrenheit, 89 degrees Celsius. Sounds like a perfect place to steep tea, right? But here's the cool part. Microscopic life forms don't just survive here. They absolutely thrive. These microbes have evolved to handle these harsh conditions, which makes them ideal for studying potential alien life. Now, let's talk about the real superstar, the Grand Prismatic Spring. It's bursting with silica, which is why it shimmers in those jaw-dropping rainbow colors. Silica reflects sunlight, particularly blue wavelengths, creating that vibrant look. But the most fascinating part isn't just its beauty. It's the scientific secrets hidden beneath its steaming surface. The way life exists in this spring can actually give us clues about how life might have begun on Earth around 4.5 billion years ago. Back then, early life forms didn't rely on sunlight for energy like plants do today. Instead, they used chemical reactions, much like the microbes thriving in Yellowstone's hot springs. If life on Earth kick-started this way, what's stopping it from existing elsewhere in the universe under similar conditions? And if we crack the code on how life started here, we can fine-tune our search for life beyond our planet. This brings us to some fascinating parallels between Yellowstone and the geysers found in space. Moons like Enceladus, which orbit Saturn, and Triton, Neptune's moon, also have geysers, but these aren't powered by underground heat like Yellowstone's. Instead, they get their energy from tidal forces. You know how Earth's tides are influenced by the moon? Well, imagine that effect on a much bigger scale. The gravitational push and pull from their massive parent planets create heat, keeping the subsurface oceans of these moons in a liquid state. Whenever cracks form in the ice, water shoots out into space, forming geysers similar to those in Yellowstone. The big question is, could there be life swimming in these hidden alien oceans? Just like tiny critters thrive under the ice of frozen ponds on Earth, scientists believe there's a real possibility of life existing beneath the thick, icy shells of these moons. That's why NASA is gearing up to send advanced spacecraft to study these distant worlds. But here's the tricky part. Those subsurface oceans are buried miles beneath frozen crusts. So how do we explore them? The answer might lie in Yellowstone's geysers. In February 2019, a group of planetary scientists braved Yellowstone's freezing winter to study the similarities between Earth's geysers and those in space. Yellowstone's geysers are home to some of the toughest little microbes called extremophiles, organisms that thrive in extreme conditions like scorching heat and acidic water. To learn more, researchers came armed with high-tech tools to measure temperature, pH levels, and oxygen in the water. They also collected chemical samples from ice, rocks, and water, even catching tiny geyser droplets on sheets of foil coated in geyser spray. Their main target? The Great Fountain Geyser in Yellowstone's Midway Geyser Basin. But getting there wasn't exactly easy. Scientists faced snowstorms, late-night arrivals, and even a rescue operation after their SUV got stuck in a snowdrift. Once they finally made it, they had to trek through deep snow. keeping an eye out for elk, bison, and the occasional bear to reach the geyser. Along the way, they stopped at other mesmerizing pools like Lemon Pool and Surprise Pool to gather more data. Even though Yellowstone feels remote, it's nothing compared to the vast distances to places like Enceladus and Triton. But it serves as the perfect natural lab to help us understand the possibilities of life beyond Earth. Speaking of groundbreaking discoveries, let's take a moment to appreciate the mighty microbes of Yellowstone. Meet Thermus aquaticus, a tiny but powerful bacterium that has saved millions of lives. If you're skeptical, here's why. These bacteria help revolutionize medicine through a technique called PCR polymerase chain reaction. Back in the 1960s, microbiologist Thomas Brock was exploring Yellowstone's superheated thermal pools when he stumbled upon something incredible. He found a microbe in mushroom pool that could survive near boiling water. This discovery changed everything. Before Brock's research, copying DNA for medical research was complicated because the process required extreme heat, which damaged the enzymes that held DNA together. But thanks to Thermus aquaticus, scientists were able to purify an enzyme called Taq polymerase, which allowed DNA replication to be done quickly and efficiently. This breakthrough led to the development of PCR tests, which are now widely used in medical diagnostics, including for detecting diseases like COVID-19. But wait, Yellowstone's microbes have even more tricks up their microscopic sleeves. One unique microbe, originally found in a hot spring during NASA-funded research, is now being used to create delicious, sustainable vegan food. This little wonder, called Fusarium strain flavolapis, was initially studied for biofuel production. However, scientists soon realized it could be cultivated into a complete protein with a texture similar to chicken. Marketed as FY, this protein-packed superfood requires far less water and land than traditional livestock, making it an eco-friendly alternative for the future. Oh, and here's the kicker. NASA is even working on a bioreactor to grow FY in space. Imagine astronauts munching on space-grown protein while exploring new worlds. The future of food might just be microscopic. And that's a wrap for today's cosmic adventure. If this video satisfied your curiosity, don't forget to hit that like button and share it with your friends. And if you want more mind-blowing space facts, just click on these videos and stay on the bright side of science.